Hello everyone, it's Laura Jane, and today I have two cards that I made using the new released Gradient cardstock set from Altenew. The set is called Seashore, and these colors coordinate perfectly with all the crisp inks. And it has the beautiful mountain mist, volcano lake, lagoon, and emerald. And then I will also be using the fine bouquet die and then the dotted swirls debossing cover die. Each of these are cut into 3 by 6 inch pieces, and they fit that die perfectly. I'm taking some double-sided stick tape and placing on each of the 4 colors. Then I'll be running each one through my die cutting machine. After die cutting each, I wanted to save all the little die cut pieces for an inlay technique on a second card. So I have the press and seal, and I am pressing the pieces down, trying to keep track of them using that tool to help me out. It's a little bit time consuming, but it's worth it. So after each one is, I have all the bits pressed in, then I just set them aside, get a new piece of the press and seal, and save the little bits and pieces from the next one. So I like having that double stick tape on the back of the very fine outline die because it makes it more sturdy. And now we have all 4 colors cut out, and we will be stacking them, creating a faux layered look. And this technique was introduced to me by Jennifer McGuire. I will link to that below. So we want to cut this die in half and then trim a little bit from the center. Now the first color, the mountain mist, I'm choosing as the top, does not get cut. But then the next layer, volcano lake, is cut in half and trimmed, and now offsetting it as I place it down on top of that first one. So I can see just a little bit of a shadow of that volcano lake. I decided the scissors work just as well as the paper trimmer, so I cut the next layer of lagoon in half and then a little bit more from the center so that I can offset it as I place it down. You just have to fiddle with it just a little bit. Well, not directly on top of each other, but just a little bit off to one side. It's difficult to see right now, but I will show a close-up at the end. It really is a very pretty technique. So then this last one is emerald. Again, trimming off from the center, peeling off the release paper. So it's easy to stick down. Now, if you don't have a double-sided stick tape, you can use glue, but it may be a little messier. Now here is a close-up of that faux layered die. It's very pretty. Next, I took the white cardstock and did the debossing. I thought that's how I wanted to use it, but decided not and moved on to the inlay technique. I cut a fine bouquet die from white cardstock and then glued it with liquid glue and placed it on an emerald piece of that gradient cardstock. And then I took bits from the saved pieces from all 4 colors and inlaid them. I did not have a plan as to where the colors should go. I just kind of randomly placed them around. The larger pieces were pretty easy. Then I went on to the leaves, and the little small dots were a little fiddly. But again, the inlaid technique is such an interesting color blocking technique. I do like the results of that too. Just trying to decide if that debossed white piece looks good with the faux layered, and decided this darker piece looks really good on it. So I trimmed down the emerald bit Yes, and I thought that looked very pretty, just like that. And then took some of the washi tape and placed it on some scrap cardstock to kind of make it more sturdy. And trimmed that down and used it to just outline as an accent our focal point. I did place several layers of extra cardstock underneath to give this piece a little bit of a floating look, so it's lifted up. I've used 3 layers of cardstock underneath that, and then used the double-sided tape to place my washi tape bits. I thought this turned out really pretty with a very simple sentiment stamped of hello there. Now moving on to the Faux Layered Fine Bouquet die. I chose the Mountain Mist and paired it with a Dotted Swirls Debossing cover die for some texture. Then chose some pattern paper from Verdant Walk, stuck the debossed panel on that, and then ran it through my sewing machine and just placed that die on top of it. I thought that looked really pretty. I added white bits of this fine bouquet die around as embellishment to this card. I hope you enjoyed watching both of these cards come together using the Seashore Gradient cardstock set. There are 6 collections in this release at Altenew. Do stop by the blog to check them out. We'll see you next time. Bye.